Yeah, sorry about that. My Bluetooth
There
came on.
you go. There you go. There we go, people.
Bluetooth came on. Yeah. So we got some shit we finna talk to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and start off with my first point. First one is about the Kanye West projection of 6.6 billion. That's good for him. I know Jay-Z crying like a bitch. I already know it. But that's what
Right.
happens when you try to be selfish and make everything about Hove instead of everybody around you trying to keep people under you. Then he did Kanye wrong. Kanye went off on his own, but God bless him to be doing better than him. So that's what you get. Now,
Right. And
it's not.
let me just say that real quick for all the people who are seeing the 6.6 billion. If you go to Forbes.com, they actually put out something today speaking on that and speaking on what his true net worth is not. Excuse me, net worth. Let me get my speech right. Net worth is not projected. So that 6.6 billion that people were seeing was a projection. It's not actual. He's actually at 1.8 billion net worth, not the 6.6. So when they were saying he was the richest black man in America or the richest black man, whatever, that's not true. That title actually still goes to Robert F. Smith, who is the richest black man in the United States, worth an estimated 6 billion. And I hope I'm gonna get this name right. Aliko Dangote of Nigeria. He's the richest black person in the world, who's worth 11.8 billion. So
Mm,
I just wanted to throw that out there just to make some corrections, because Forbes and a couple other sites actually came out and put the correction to, his actual network,
yeah, that's why I said projection.
right? Because the Yeezy, like they were putting in, his sneaker brand, the Yeezys, and also his partnership with Gap, the Yeezy Gap, which according to Forbes, he has not sold one item of clothing as of yet. They're about to start, but that combination of the sneaker along with the Gap would they say have a combined value of as much as 4.7 billion. So that's yet to come.
Yeah, because I was gonna also say they remember when they projected 3.3 billion. So that means uh that projection has gone up. So like you said, it went from 3.3 to 4.7 to
Right.
6.6. So that'll probably be within the next 4 or 5 years or something.
Something like
Okay.
that.
So the real reason why I brought it up is because I seen it on the Breakfast Club and Charlemagne punk ass took out time to say, see, the only reason why that happened is because of partnership. If you got 100% of
Right.
nothing, then you got nothing. He was able to take what he had and put that into his partnership. No, dumbass.
Right.
What he actually did, because that's not necessarily a partnership. That's more like supervising another sector of their business. He took what he could have been getting from them and put it into stocks. He said, no, take it and put it in stocks. So he had to put himself in a position where he's a shareholder. That's what happened. And a lot of people have to
Right.
look that up and really find out what that means. So if a company comes to you and say, HD, we seen you been doing your thing on this podcast shit for a minute. We want to go ahead and sign your podcast and give you $1.2 million for 4 years. HD can say, no, you know what? Give me instead of giving me 1.2, give me 200,000 and take a million and put it into, like, say if it was Apple, take a million and buy me a million shares within your company and make me a shareholder and just give me 200,000 instead. That would be a better power move because it's already expensive. I think it's like 1,200, around 1,000, 800 to 1,000 per share in Apple. It's crazy. So if he says give me a million worth, that's like owning like a percent or two of the company. You know what I'm saying? And at that rate of that many shares at $1 million, I mean, come on. That's the smart way to do it. But it's not because they came to him and said, we want to make you a partner. No. Give me $1 million worth of y'all shares, make me a shareholder, and just give me $200,000. That's a smarter way to do it because you're seeing the future in it. That's just like I seen Jack Thriller telling the story to Beehive. He was talking about this guy that he met wanted to open up dispensaries in Detroit, and he said he need a real one to hold it down for him, so people don't be trying to rob him and do stuff to him. So Jack Thriller was like, "Hold on, I got somebody." So he reached out to Trick Trick. He get Trick Trick on the phone. He said, "Hey, Trick, dude is offering me $5,000 just for you to go ahead and watch out for him. He just want me to connect y'all." And he said, "You know what I'm saying? So you can get a bag off this." Trick said, fuck the bag. I want a bank." So he said, "Tell him I'm going to want a percentage. I don't want no upfront money." And he told Jack the
Right.
same thing. He said, "Jack, get a percentage. Fuck that little $5,000. And Jack was like, "Man, fuck that. Forget what you told me." Act like you never said that to me because I need that money now. He said, fast forward, he done made millions off the percentage he owns in that company. That's thinking.
And
That's thinking ahead.
that's the thing where it's that thought process of I need something now, where people don't have the patience and people want to shine and floss right now. Instead, if you wait, as you just said, and get that percentage, you're gonna get way more money than the little bit that they throwing at you up front. Because a lot of business people, they know the game. They know, like, all right, if we got someone who doesn't have as much knowledge about certain things, let me just throw some money at this person right now because I know that, hey, they may be struggling, they may don't have anything, or they just money hungry, or they ready to floss. Let me throw this little bit at them right now, and then in the long run, 2-3 years from now, if I give him 20,000, 4 years from now, I'm gonna have 10 million, and he ain't gonna get none of that because I just gave him his little 20,000. He think that's something, but in a couple of years, I'm gonna have some millions. So the people who have their head on right, who study and have knowledge of stuff, they're gonna try to do that and trick you, and then it's people like that who just take that upfront money and they end up
Uh-huh.
regretting it.
Uh-huh. So it pissed me off when I heard Charlamagne still trying to take shots at Joe. He's not thinking about the fact that Joe's setting himself up in the position of real ownership. So I think Joe
Right.
ended up doing a deal with somebody, but he has ownership of it. Not, oh, I'm gonna give you this. No, because guess who did it? Joe Rogan did the same thing that Joe Buttons was saying. They gave Joe Rogan, Spotify gave Joe Rogan $100 million, and Joe Rogan retains the ownership of his podcast. All they're doing, they gave him $100 million just to be a sole distributor, but he still got his stuff on YouTube, so he still makes money off YouTube because
Right.
he's I think he's like in the billions of watch videos, like he's up there in the billions. So he owns all the money he still gets from YouTube. They don't touch that. Spotify can't touch it. So all they do is distribute his podcast on Spotify. That's what Joe Buttons was talking about. And Charlemagne, if you want to go ahead and like our homie Dan Dash said, if you want the nigga deal, go get the nigga deal. But don't
Right.
try to put other people down who don't want the nigga deal.
And
That's the
that
nigga deal.
me, I like putting stuff in the simplest terms. I just feel like my biggest beef with this motherfucker, because I don't like nothing about Charlamagne anyway, and I hate even bringing his name up on our show. But to me, it's teaching and pushing into people's mind to be afraid of ownership as a black
Mm.
man. Why do we have to put this narrative out of to be afraid of ownership as a black man? That should be your dream. That should be your goal, to where you own something and there's no one else that can tell you when to move, when not to move, when to make a deal, when not to make a deal, when to accept something, when not. To be your own boss. Like, people throw that word around, like my partner Jay always says. They always throw that word boss around. But you're not a boss when you don't own shit, when you don't run shit. When people who, like, maybe at a company and they're just a manager and they're like, I'm a boss. No, the fuck you not. You have somebody over you that can tell you when and where to go, when and how to move, and they can fire your ass. But when you're a boss, you're the person doing that. You're the owner. You're the one firing people. You're the one telling people don't move or move. So I just hate that he's pushing it and he's making jokes and he's trying to make fun of somebody and belittle Joe Button, because this man wants to have ownership. And we as black people need to stop being afraid of taking a risk, but risking something to believe in your own self, because that's what it is. You are risking, yeah, you putting up money, yeah, you putting up your time and your effort, but you believing in yourself. And we need to stop being afraid of believing in ourselves, period.
And just to give people out there a little game, the way a lot of these companies look big, the biggest way to do that is marketing. They
Mm-hmm.
have a budget that they put marketing dollars into. So say if I got a company, right? And I'm putting it on Facebook, I'm putting it on Instagram. If you want to, you can also put together your budget and see what they charge you to make ads and promote on Instagram or Facebook. They got it where you can go little as $2 a day to promote your business as an advertisement on Facebook. $2 a day. So if you just want to try it out real slow, you can put $2 a day into it and do your thing. So it's not like you have to be afraid to try something or do something. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that's so sad is that we keep trying to put our fears on everybody else. Like, so Charlemagne punk ass will give credit to Dame Dash. He gave credit all the time to Nipsey Hussle, Got Rich Soul, Master P, E40, Too Short, all these people that were doing boss moves on their own. But now you want to keep taking shots at Joe for trying to do the same thing. You
Right.
shouldn't have came out your mouth and said what you said to make it a thing. And if
He's a
you
hypocrite.
want, like I said, if you want the nigga deal, that's fine. Go do it, but don't get mad at other people. Because when you say 100% of nothing, like my partner HD just said, it's gonna make other people that really listen to the Breakfast Club as the gospel and think,
Right.
oh well, I'm gonna start shaming people that want to do that. Oh, you talking about starting a company? That's 100% of nothing. I work for a
Right.
Fortune 500 company. I work for this, and it's like, but it's people that
Right.
work for Fortune 500 companies that don't want to work for them no more. My
Right.
partner HD is one of them. He worked for a Fortune 500 company. He don't want to work for them no more.
I don't
So,
want to work for him at all.
so to say that like everybody that's making all that money wants to be there, a lot of them, you have to like when you making all this type of money and you get to a salary position. The coolest thing about it is if you need time off, you can do that because your work is more. Your money comes more from the work you put in, and more so than your time. But they still expect to put more time in to get production out of that salary. And people don't realize because I work for big companies and they make you do a lot of stuff. If you don't enjoy it, there's no point. I work for one of the biggest nonprofit organizations there is, the Boys and Girls Club back in the day. And you put a lot into that, but I enjoy working with the youth because the program I worked for was the first of its kind. It was the Royal Theater Arts Academy. So it was the first of its kind. They had a music studio there, you know what I'm saying? Video classes, dance class, poetry, art. Like, it was dope. But I was working, it was in, if you want to say the hood, quote unquote, it was in the hood. So I worked with at risk youth, but that's what I enjoyed doing. But guess what? God willing, me and my partner want to start our own organization. We don't want to have to work for them. We want to do it to the way we want to do it and really be involved. When I work for them, there's so many restrictions they put on you that you can't do what would really help the community in the situation that we were in. So
Right.
it's disheartening keep hearing people down other people that's trying to do something on their own. It's
Right.
disheartening.
All
So
right. Well, we're gonna leave that there because we actually we're gonna do another show on that. Just a whole show on black ownership, which we talk about a lot on this podcast. But we're gonna do a whole show on that in the future. Um, so going off my man's point, I'm gonna go hit on my first bullet point of the day. I'm gonna talk about the situation that was going on at Georgetown University, where the law professor resigned for failing to correct one of his colleagues, and his colleague was also let go because of some comments that she made about black students having lower academic performances every semester, which these comments led to her getting fired. The video was put out on Twitter, and it says here, according to Fox News, it had more than 1 million views. And the professor, her name is Sandra Sellers. She was speaking to another professor, David Baston, about the performances of the blacks in her class. And for those who didn't hear exactly what she said, I'm going to just read a little bit of what she said, and then I'm going to go to my partner to get his opinion on this situation. She said, and of course, she didn't know that this video was going to go out to millions and millions of people. To her mind, I guess she just thought this was a Zoom call that was just going to be between her and the gentleman and just between them two. But here are her words. She said, you know what? I hate to say this. I end up having this angst every semester that a lot of my lower ones are blacks. Happens almost every semester, and it's like, oh, come on. I get some really good ones, but then there are usually some that are just plain at the bottom, and it drives me crazy. So I feel bad. The other professor, after hearing that, he just nodded, but he didn't really make no comments or whatever. So that was the basis of what ended up leading to her getting fired. And then the other guy, the other professor, ended up resigning. So based upon that, and you can go watch this video, it's all over the internet, and you can see it in its entirety. Based upon that, what's your opinion on that?
Well, you already know we had pre-show comments. All right, so this is where people stick their foot in their mouth. She might have tried to be saying like it's a concern, but since she didn't say I want to help them do better, it just sounds like you just shitting on them. You didn't say nothing about trying to make sure they get tutors. You didn't say nothing about trying to get with the NAACP or any organization to say, hey, we want to make sure all our students are doing good. Is there any way y'all can provide tutoring money for a funding program? Because I want to see my black students do a lot better. This is the time now that we can really invest more. This is really important time for you guys. So I want to help put my money where my mouth is. But she didn't do that. So if you left it at that, and I need to watch the video as well. But if you left it at that, then that's what you got what you deserve. And what I'm so tired of is people acting like you. I'm sure Candace Owens bitch ass gonna come out and say they shouldn't have fired her for that. You gonna have these coon and house niggas. They're gonna run out the woodworks to try to defend white people that don't need no defending. White people are the dominant society in this country and in the UK. They don't need your help. You just do it for a paycheck. She got what she deserves. She shouldn't have came out of her mouth and said that, especially not in a big situation like that. Keep those conversations in the privacy of your own home. Now, we said before, we want to see all the people take off they KKK hats, but you got to understand something. It's enough people there's no year that has passed in this country that we have not seen that it still exists, and that it's a system of people that fuck up the system. Just like when I did the show, if y'all haven't seen it, go check it out. When I did that, they was voting on removing slavery from the Constitution in Tennessee, and you still had a few senators vote no. And one of them being Ben Carson, saying, he was heard saying, and I heard part of the audio, he was saying that's something they should keep to teach people a lesson that if they try to run away. What the fuck are you talking about? What does that have to do with these private prison organizations getting money off of pimping out inmates? Because people were saying, all right, if they work in the prison, doing working in the library, cafeteria, cleaning and stuff like that, fine. But for them to outsource it to making tags and license plates, to outsource them digging.
Hello?
My apologies, somebody tried to call. They make money by outsourcing the inmates, and they pay the inmates 11 cents. That should only happen in the prison system. But if you're gonna outsource to all these major people that make millions of dollars and companies that's worth billions of dollars, then you need to pay them a fair wage. At least pay them the minimum wage, depending on what state you in. Pay them the $8, pay them the $10, whatever the minimum wage is. If you're gonna do that, at least pay them for it. So when they get out, they'll have some kind of money to go back to society and be productive. Maybe go get them a vehicle, get their license straight. Maybe go back to school. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, take that money, go get their own place so they don't have to go back to a community where you're telling them, which is another trap setup, that if they go to a certain community and they're around known felons, you're going to throw them back in prison. And us coming from where we come from, whether, Black, Latino, or Mexican, when we go back to our homes where we ain't got nowhere to stay, we got to go back in with family, 9 times out of 10, you may have other relatives that are felons or live in that community right next door to you. That's just what it is. And then you're going to throw them back in prison. This is the way they set it up for this to happen. So when you have someone that work at an institution, it should be more consideration. But since people don't have compassion, especially conservatives, they're the main ones that are the most ruthless motherfuckers for $1. So if she really cared, she would express that and try to do something more than sit and act like a bitch and complain and just put it on the black students. Because there's more to it than them just being lazy. I guarantee it.
And I look at it also from the side of us as black people and students. Let's just say, because a lot of people were like shocked, and I'm like, why are motherfuckers still shocked that white people think that way about us? Why are motherfuckers still so shocked that they say these things? Like, you need to wake up and stop thinking, oh, it's because it's 2021, things are different. No, they're not different. They're not different at all. The whites still look at us as we're dumb, stupid, uneducated, can't be up to par with the whites. However, with that being said, I also look at it in a way of, all right, so let's just say for the sake of saying she's correct that the blacks get lower grades every semester. We should use that as a motivation to shove it in her cracker face. You know what I'm saying? Like, with all this coming out and going viral, the young brothers and sisters who are in college at Georgetown and in other places, because this is in regards to law students. So law students, are very smart and they're like the top of the top. All right, so we need to change that. You know what I'm saying? If the blacks are getting C's and D's in her class, then we need to step up as black people because we can do it. It ain't about, that we're not smart enough, because we are, and we know that we're smart enough. So we ourselves need to stop being so surprised when these motherfuckers say that, and we just need to rock out better. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? We need to elevate ourselves. Then if we are putting in that work, these motherfuckers won't have any kind of conversation except for, man, the blacks are the number one in my class every semester. They have nothing else but to say that. So I looked at step our game up. And number two, if she's saying that, it's like, well, she needs to step her game up as a teacher, because maybe it ain't the students. Because it's not always where if a student gets a bad grade that the student's a bad student. It could be that the teacher isn't teaching in a certain way, or she isn't coming off in a way to where the person can understand or can get that good grade. So I look at it as, we as black people, our brothers and sisters out there, we just step our game up. And number two, these teachers need to step their game up. Maybe they need to stop teaching it in an old school way and teach it in a new school, 20th century way, so that everyone can get it and understand it. So that's how I viewed it.
But that's my other point is, this is the system. This is a professor from a D1 college. This is what people got to realize. You still got these things happening on large scales in situations that they're supposed to be better than that. This is a D1 league college. And you mean to tell me that even in that college, they're not still progressive?
Nope, that's what we need to look at.
And Georgetown is, well, hold on. And Georgetown is in the north, not the south. It's in the north.
Mm-hmm.
where blacks migrated from during slavery and Jim Crow. We migrated from the South to the North because it was supposed to be more progressive. And in 2021, it's still not progressive. If all these people care so much, then learn a different way to give us opportunities. If you see, you know the history. So when you have situations like that, where now everybody keeps shitting, conservatives keep shitting on the 619 project. If y'all ain't seen that, the 1619 project about the slavery and stuff in this country and how this country got rose off of the backs of the slaves, go watch that and see for yourself. Don't let conservatives tell you, oh, they trying to make it sound like that's all this country is about. No, they're talking about that period of what this country did. They're not saying that's all this country is about. They're talking about the period and the way that this country gained their wealth by slavery. And that was a big business. They like, it wasn't even that many people. If you mean to tell me like 3,000 to 10,000 people had slaves, 3,000 to 10,000 masters. You know how much fucking money that is? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You think about all that free labor they got. 3,000 to 10,000 slave master owners. That's a lot. It's only 50 countries in this state, in this 50 states in this country. So if you mean to tell me 3,000 to 10,000 masters in a 50 state country, that is overwhelming. It's only 50 states here. Even if they only had 1,000 masters, it's only 50 states here. And I'm not that great. I like math, but I'm not the greatest at it. So that would basically mean 50 times what, G? You probably bad at math too.
Well, yeah, that wasn't my strong suit.
So let's say a rough estimation or guesstimation. Let's say that's like 200 masters per state.
Damn.
That's like 200 masters per each state.
So that's coming out to 10,000 right there.
So you feel what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me that's nothing to be mad about? If anything, you motherfuckers are ashamed. So I'm gonna piggyback back off that topic to the next one. I forget that name because I don't really give a fuck. But back to what my partner said about why we still not woke to all of this shit, the shit that we know. It should not be surprised. The prince and the little black girl that passed for white. Huh?
I think her name is Markel or some shit like that.
Whatever the fuck their name is. I'll put it in on the show.
Megan. That's her name, Megan.
And Prince, what is his name? Harry?
Prince Harry.
Yeah, Prince Harry and Meghan. So you mean to tell me you didn't know that they most likely was going to be racist? And there's a brother, King Richards. Shout out to that brother, King Richards, over there in the UK. He talked about it. He was like, a caller called in, was talking about it. He was like, okay, what you want me to say about it? And she was like, I can't believe it. He was like, what you mean? And he started breaking down the stuff that they used to do. Remember you told me what they used to do in the Brooklyn Zoo?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it the Brooklyn Zoo?
No, it was either the Brooklyn or the Bronx Zoo. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, they used to have the blacks in the cages as monkeys and gorillas, actual black people.
And brother King Richard said that they was doing the same thing over there in the UK. In fact, he said they would take after they killed baby slaves, they would take their heads, their skulls, and make postcards out of the shit. So he's like, why would y'all be surprised? It's racist as fuck over here too. So what are y'all so surprised about? So when you keep hearing people and they trying to take up for them and all that, then people
I have it pulled up here. The
Bronx Zoo. Right, the Bronx Zoo. So now people going at Sharon Osbourne and Piers Morgan, you know what I'm saying? Because Piers Morgan was like, he didn't agree with them just being able to talk all that shit, and he didn't believe her. He believed her, but, you know, he caping, kissing ass, and they probably going to look out for him because of that. But then Sharon Osbourne took up for him. Listen, y'all should not be surprised because the black girl, I think she played on The Help, and she used to play on Jamie Foxx show. You know, she was Fancy's homegirl, the chubby one. Mm-hmm. That was the homegirl. They on the talk together, and she's telling Sharon Osbourne, oh, you know, I don't want it to come off like you're being racist, you know what I'm saying, because you're my friend. No, she's not your friend. She's your business associate. She's your colleague. He's not your fucking friend. Why? This is what tripped me out. Our people still keep trying to go into these white settings and think, oh, 2021, it's not like that no more. Yes, it is. It's still like that. It's still white privilege. It's still racism. It's still prejudice going on. All these practices are still happening. So when you hear people put that propaganda out there, oh, that's not true. It's not like X, Y, and Z. It is like that. They're just doing that because they don't want to lose money. Black people spend over $1 trillion a year in this country. A year. So of course they don't want to lose that money. Of course they don't want to be fucked though. But black people is the one that made Georgetown be something in the sports athletics. That's where they get a lot of their money from is sports. And that's
But that's
because
what
of
they look at us for. All we are,
exactly
athletes. They don't think that we have any brains in our head.
what Q said on higher learning, run nigga run.
Exactly.
That's
how they look at us.
That's it. So I don't know how many times we got to say this. That's why we try to make shows more about black ownership, getting ourselves together, because we already know what it is. There's no point in us to keep like going over and rehashing the same shit that we already know. We talk about this stuff in our personal lives. When we get upset about something like that, we tell ourselves and tell each other, come on, man, we already know this, right? We already know it. And be like, why am I mad for? I already know it. If you already know, there's no point in you getting mad. Now you know how to move and navigate in these situations. All right, G. So we can go ahead because I had piggybacked off yours one in mine. So you can go into your other topic.
Well, that what you just said can go right into our next topic, which is we're going to speak on the stimulus check. And I know that you had mentioned to me about an article that you had saw, and then I went and looked it up myself as well in regards to something that happened, in regards to stimulus check, where it was some people, a gentleman that was robbing some people. Isn't that correct? You can reflect on that a little bit better than me.
Robbing somebody. I don't remember that part.
Yeah, this happened up in Indiana, I believe. Excuse me, I am pulling it up here, but there was an incident. A stimulus check argument led to a quadruple murder. You can see this on Fox 59, the New York Times, ABC News. It's on a lot of different outlets. And it says here, Indianapolis man formerly charged with murders and the killings of 3 adults and a child he allegedly shot to death after he and a former girlfriend argued because he wanted a share of her COVID relief money.
Okay,
His name
so
is.
you said when you said robbery, that's what threw me out. I'm like, that wasn't no robbery, that was a murder.
Right. Excuse me, misspoke. His name is Malik Halfers. I think I'm saying his last name right. Halfacre, 25 years old, faces 4 counts of murder, 1 count each of attempted murder, armed robbery, auto theft, and other charges in the killings that happened on Saturday. It says he shot a woman who is the mother of his 6-month-old daughter, critically wounding her, and fatally shot 4 of her relatives inside of a home where the officers found the bodies of, I'm not going to say their names because I don't want to disrespect that, but the people that he killed were 35 years old, 23, 44, and 7 years old. 7 years old. That right there, it's so sickening that I can't even cry. It just makes my stomach just, I can't even explain it. And the reason why I wanted to not to think about murders, because that's the most horrifying thing to think about, that he killed that many people, including a 7-year-old child that didn't even get to live life, but it's over this stimulus. And you see all these memes everywhere. You see all this stuff on Instagram, Twitter, You see people laughing and joking, and people getting angry and upset. And I may sound opposite from what other people may think in their opinion, but to me, we're doing all of this over some money that, frankly, these motherfuckers didn't even have to give to us. Yes, there's a pandemic going on. Yes, there's a lot of people around this entire country that lost jobs, that lost a lot of things due to COVID. However, there is still a big group of people who work every single day. A lot of the people who work from home, they don't even have to get up and walk out their front door. They can get up out of their bed, brush their teeth. Hopefully they brushing their teeth with their pajamas on, go sit in front of a computer and make $25, $30 an hour. And these same people are still bitching and complaining about some little pissy ass check. And now it's leading to people fighting and murdering over this check, which once again, it just shows you that some of us in our mentality, like my man Jay has said over and over again, and I say it in my life over and over again, there's a difference between black people and niggas. There's a big difference. And we're seeing it now. And it's disheartening to me. It's sad. And it just makes me angry that I'm not going to speak on what other people are doing because I don't give a fuck about them. I'm speaking about my house, inside my house, which is the black people. Why are we acting this way over some little pissy ass check that's not even owed to us? They're giving it to us basically to use kindergarten words to be nice and to be helpful, but there's no laws that are written that say that they have to give us 2, 3, 4 stimulus checks. It's not. They're doing it to help and to provide relief. Some people are depending on this shit. Like they got zero money in their account and they're depending on this shit. That's why they're like, "Where my check? Where my check? Where my check?" And then you got some people who I spoke of earlier who have jobs, who work every fucking day, and who are just greedy trying to get a handout. And we as black people need to rise above that shit. I hate to sound corny and use those old slave words like rise above, but we need to. We shouldn't be sitting around waiting on some fucking handout from some white people. That's my whole thing. We're sitting around waiting on fucking handouts. And that's the shit that pisses me off the most.
I
Go ahead,
mean,
man.
this the thing. What's so sad also about it is, what are people doing with the money? This dude killed all these people for $1,500.
All 4 people lost their life for one fucking check. One.
$1,500. Because they say it was like 3,300 or something. So a little over $1,500. Now, guess what? You're going to prison, and you better hope they put your ass in like the hole or something, because when you get to prison, you gonna have broomsticks up your asshole and foots on your neck, dummy.
He killed a 7-year-old. A 7-year-old. Of course, I'm not going to say that the other lives aren't significant, because they are. But this is a 7-year-old child that don't even know nothing about no stimulus check. They don't even know how that works or nothing. They're just an innocent young child trying to live their little kid life, and they're gone now. Gone. Over an argument over some money that was given that's supposed to be for relief, not to depend on, not for you to be fighting and killing nobody over. And like you just said, what are we doing? All these little things on the internet. Yeah, I'm gonna go buy some Jordans. Oh, we gonna eat crabs tonight. We gonna be eating good. Everybody think that shit is hilarious and funny, but it's not. It's not funny at all, because some people out there are really blowing their money quickly, and then in 2 weeks they're back broke again.
So
I don't see any memes out there, and you can correct me, Jay. I don't know. I'm not on the internet like that, but I don't see no memes out there saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go take this 1,400 and invest it," or "I'm gonna take this 1,400 and try to put that towards start me a business." I don't see no memes like that.
that's what I was gonna go into. You have people like Nino Brown that'll say that. You got Dame Dash that'll say that. You got Earn Your Leisure that'll say that. You got brothers, even comedians. The 85 South show with Chico Bean, Carlos Miller, and DC Youngfly would say stuff like this. Investing, they do shows like this and talk about this type. They drop gems. But the
Good,
problem is,
good, good.
we still got too many of our own that will be like this ignorant ass nigger, and kill somebody over a puss ass check. So that means you ain't got no hustle about you, cause you ain't have to do shit. You don't have to ask. You don't have to cry about that. My son, mama. I think out of my son's 17 now. Out of all the time she's gotten tax checks and got extra money because of my son, I've only got money from that one time. One time out of 17 years. One time. I don't go to her and I don't cry about shit. Hey, keep it. Whatever you got to do for bills and stuff, since our child stays with you, you do what you need to do. I ain't asking her for shit out of 17 years. That was one time, and that's because she offered to me. I didn't even ask her about it. Because real men don't worry about that. Like, this is what we got to understand, so. Real decent, good men don't worry about that. I say that. Real decent, good men don't worry about shit like that. Because I'm always trying to work on being my entrepreneur, my best entrepreneur self. That's what I worry about. Oh man, she got that bag off. No, for what? What? I don't want to stunt. So when God bless me to get some money, I'm investing. I'm not going to take this money. Like, I had all my years of effing off and doing stupid stuff with money. I didn't have enough of that because it can only get you so far. Once you spend all that money, once you come up off a lick, whatever you want to call it, once you spend all that money and you didn't do nothing, you're going to be sick to your stomach when you go back to being broke. And this is why you see so many people pulling scams, robberies, selling dope and all this, pills, because they want to keep that lifestyle. They're not worried about eating, putting food on the table. They're not worried about a house, a roof over their head, a vehicle just to get the point A to the point B. I want me a Bentley. Why? So I can stunt. So you want people to like you and hate on you because you look like you're doing the most. That's the dumbest shit, and that's something we've still never gotten over as a people. And I understand a lot of this shit come from post-traumatic slavery, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, how much do you have to do just to get that shit out of your system? I remember Dick Gregory, God rest his soul, said in an interview, you know what I'm saying? Nigga need to spend at least $1 million to get that shit out of their system. But you got people that scamming, spending millions of dollars. Instead of being smart when they scam, stack their bread and then make it look like you slowly progressing. You can get a LLC for like $250, $225. Go buy you a couple lawnmowers and weed eaters and start your own lawn service. You can go ahead, buy you some clippers and stuff and go invest and get your own barbershop. You can do these small things where they're not going to look at you, the IRS, and be like, oh, where you get this money from? As long as you paying your taxes, they ain't worried about it because you got a secure way to do it. But when we had, I think this was around 2010 to 15, 14, something like that, when we was doing drops. And now this is a white collar scheme. So, people was getting the credit cards, put them in dead people's names and all that trifling ass shit. So after that got done and, that was over, a lot of people went to prison. So now they got a show showing different things like that. I forget, something Queen, Trap Queen or some shit like that they got on Fox Soul now. And they're going to be talking about those type of things that black women was pulling these scams. But getting caught having $1 million houses. I think they got a couple of people that was in Tampa that was balling like that. So a lot of these sisters, because you had dudes doing it too, but mostly it was sisters, and they buying Bentleys, $1 million cribs and shit with no way to account for it. Instead of them taking that money, stacking it, like, you mean to tell me you made like $15, $20 million and now you ain't got nothing to show for it? Instead of you being smart enough to be like, all right, I'm going to open a hair salon because you make bread off females' hair. Instead of opening a hair salon and slowly buying shit and accumulating and sitting on money until you get yourself to a position where you can really ball out. No, I got to ball out now. And got fucked up and caught over it. This is what we don't realize. We keep worrying about the lifestyle. Worry about life, motherfucker. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Oh, I want to be in the club. Man, I was broke in the club throwing dollars in the strip club. You don't have to have millions of dollars to do that. No, I want to make it rain. I want everybody to know what JTL did. No, you ain't got to be Liberace, motherfucker. You ain't got to have all eyes on you. You ain't pop. Work for that shit. It's so sad, man. But this is what we got our people doing out here killing each other for a puss ass $1,500.
Exactly. And like you before we move on, I wanted to hit on what you was just saying about the people who was doing all that spending without being able to account for it. So when the people come, the feds, FBI, whoever, the IRS come and say, well, okay, you got this Bentley, you got this house. What do you do for a living? They could have
Mm.
took that money and put that money. I mean, I sound like a broken record. Got $20,000, whatever you got, put that into some stocks, and then you can get some real official money, cash out some of these stocks if you're hitting on the right ones, then go buy that Bentley in that house. So when the crackers do come to you and say, all right, so how you bought this house? Oh, this stock that I invested in 6 months ago blew up, made me $1 million. This is how I bought that house. They ain't got nothing to say to you then, because everything is legal and you're not in jail. But you're doing it the stupid way, and then you end up in prison.
Uh-huh.
We don't use our minds and we don't think. So
And
I
come
know
back
I'm gonna
out with nothing to show for it.
nothing to show for it. So I just wanted to hit on that, since this is stimulus check time. This is the season. Everybody going crazy. Where my check at? Calling people, getting mad. They even on the bank's websites, on the bank that I unfortunately bank with. I had to call them the other day to look at something on my account, and the first thing when you call the number, they say, "Do not call us regarding stimulus checks." I
Don't
mean,
call us about that
it's
shit. Leave us alone.
right. If you have any questions regarding stimulus checks, do not call us. So
Call the
I just wanted
IRS.
to
Don't
speak
fuck with
on.
us.
I just wanted to speak on that, and I just have hopes that we get better. We get better and stop doing things like this, taking lives over something that's not even something. I'm gonna say it again, that they didn't have to do this. It's great that they did, and yes, other countries, around the world are giving relief, but they don't have to do it. That this isn't something that people go to work for every single day. This is not. This is like where you go work hard 40 hours a week and earn a paycheck. And that's the problem. We got too many motherfuckers who are lazy. Go
Mm.
ahead, man.
Yeah, so our last topic, H, you go ahead and do it, man. Let's go ahead and do it, get it out the way, man. We need to talk about this.
All right, I have seen a article online. It's just silly for me to even brought this to your attention, but they were had a poll about who's a better rapper, keyword rapper. I didn't say MC lyricist, because this young generation pretty much don't even know what lyricists and MCs are. But who's a better rapper, Young Thug or Talib Kweli? The
Mm.
poll, Young Thug won the poll, which I don't know why and how he did. And I know that once my partner starts, he's definitely going to say, about the difference between an MC and a rapper. But I remember, some of the older cats that we love, like Karis One, saying that, yeah, I am a lyricist, I am an MC, but I can be a rapper too. So even in that sense, even if Talib was to say, I want to go into the rapper lane, he's still a better rapper than this Young Thug guy. But we have this new generation that doesn't pay attention to not just lyrics and MCing, but if something even makes sense, or if something motivates you or sparks you. Because when you listen to some of these young rappers nowadays, it's the same rhetoric that, to me, I just don't understand how it even inspires you in any kind of way. But yet and still, the poll was 58 to 42, where they said that Young Thug is a better rapper than Talib Kweli, and I see more and more where people are, saying things like, you know, oh, well, Future is better than KRS One and things like that. And
Mm.
I guess I'm just not inclined to let the young people consider what is a better MC or rapper nowadays. So I'll let you take it away, man.
Yeah, so the problem I have on that situation is like we was just saying, it's two different things. An MC and a rapper are two different things. So it's they to me they doing that to shame the old school rappers, you know what I'm saying, from
Right,
our generation. But the thing is, it was two different generations. And then not only that, they can say all that shit they want, but if they were so much better, then why was we selling more records back then? We were selling more records. You had like we did a show in the past. Maybe we'll like rehash it, but we did a show in the past where we named like 40 different artists that went platinum in the 90s. 40 different artists. Nowadays you don't have that. You have some artists here and there. Now, if you want to talk about streams, okay, we can talk about streams. But guess what? Streams don't pay shit. You have to get millions upon millions of streams to get any real money. Like if you get, and I remember Nipsey Hussle, God rest his soul. I was so thankful that the brother put this information out. You got to get like 1 million streams to make a few $1,000s. Back in the days, we were selling. Even if you went gold, you can make more money than somebody can make off a couple 100 million streams. Because when you went gold, that was still like $5 million. That's what people don't realize. If you're selling, let's say you sell something for at least, I want to say $10 and selling 500,000 units, that's still $5 million. So what is 100 million screens if that's only worth like 50 grand? So if you want to bring it to that, we can compare that too, because I do my numbers and I've been doing research on the industry for years, since I was like 13. Like me and my partner, well, actually before that, me and my partner, we grew up reading The Source and all that, and Double XL and Vibe and Scratch Magazine
yeah,
and watching Yo MTV raps, all types of shit, and learning the game and the business for years. And we still talk about it. We talk about how things changed to now. So if y'all want to talk about that, we can talk about that all day. But the difference is MC and rap are two different fucking things. An MC enjoys the art, the culture. You know what I'm saying? That's what an MC is about. Rappers only care about bitches, chains, make a couple dollars here and there. But that's why you always see so many of them still broke these days. And you got OGs giving out knowledge on how you can get more money and invest and be smart. And a lot of young cats ain't listening. You got Roddy Ricch who smart. You got Lil Baby who doing this thing, Dub Baby. Like, these are the people I can name that's investing. J. Cole, Kendrick, like these are the new cats. Big Sean, they're investing their money in being smart. Lil Durk, they invest in being smart. The problem is they're trying to shame the old school to find a way to say that they're better, but they're not. Just because you're hot right now does not make you better. And me and my partner talked about this pre-production. If that's the case, then Vanilla Ice is better than Lil Wayne. Vanilla Ice is better than Future, Young Thug,
mm,
Rich Homie Quan,
mm,
anybody you can name, because Vanilla Ice is one of the top 10 selling rap artists of all fucking time. So is MC
mm,
Hammer. So is Puff
mm,
Daddy. So is Dr. Dre. People that didn't even write their own shit. So is Easy E, God rest his soul. These are the top selling artists. Tupac, God rest his soul. Eminem. So we gonna go off of sales. Then the best rappers, some of the best rappers didn't even write their own shit. So to
right,
say that Young Thug is a better lyricist than fucking Tyler Kweli is retarded, because they're not in the same lane. And that's what people got to realize. Somebody like Future and Young Thug didn't come in the game trying to be better than a Tyler Kweli. They're not even in the same lane. These brothers try to carve their own lane. That's why y'all can say Young Thug, but Young Thug is not in that lane. He's not even concerned with being in a lyricist lane. This is not what he does. When we had the Lyricist Lounge, you would have never seen Young Thug or fucking Future or Migos rapping at the Lyricist Lounge, because they couldn't
mm,
hang. if they came in there boopity boppity who, they would have got booed off the stage. This is at the time when it was about actually saying something. This was being able to twist your words, articulate shit, make real similes and metaphors. This was what the game was about in our day. Now, me and my partner, we're not haters. We can look at something and say, I can see why they like that.
Right.
We can look at something and say, oh, I see why they you know what I'm saying, they fuck with such and such style. We can be respectful and appreciate people for what they do. We don't have to hate on nobody. But when y'all make it on some this is about this and this and that, that's when it's like, hold on now, come on now. We ain't got to lie about the shit. Let's keep it real. Why are we lying about the shit? So I don't I don't know, man. Go ahead, G. You go ahead and give, add to it, because you were saying some good stuff in
I
pre-production too.
I just, when it comes to certain things like that, we just have to look at what's shining right now. It's
Uh-huh.
not an emphasis on MCing or rapping or what someone's saying. And a lot of times, this is just me, and people may say, "Oh, you old school," but I
Well, I'm
listen to
old school too.
everything. I listen to everything, and I do that so I can give an opinion. My thing is when these people are giving these votes and doing these tallies and things like that, have these people actually okay? I would say a majority of the people who are voting for Young Thug are Young Thug fans, and with Talib Kweli, have they actually went and listened to his whole catalog?
Right.
So a lot of these things are being based upon
Prejudice.
information that they don't have.
It's prejudice. Like if
Like
you actually, I never. Hold on,
when
not to cut you
someone
out. Hold on,
says
wait. Hold on, real quick, G. Let me say this real quick. I had to I heard somebody having a conversation about this in an interview, and I had to go relook it up. It's prejudice, and prejudice is
right
preconceived notions, and without, like you said, without real information. Go ahead.
without knowledge, exactly, because you'll take something like that where someone will hear two or three songs and give their opinion. When something comes out, I listen to the album from front to back, and then also I don't know why I do this to myself, but I'll even go on the Genius website and look up the lyrics, because some of these cats, I'm not trying to be funny, but the way they rap and be mumbling, and I can't even understand what the fuck they're saying, so I go look up the words, and when I read the words, it just baffles me that it's saddening that the young people that are coming up, this is what they think is good, because they don't have no idea about a Black Thought. They have no idea about Coogee Rap. They have no idea about early Nas. They have no idea about the Wu Tang and whoever, even early Jay Z, if you want to throw him in there. Or even some of these young people don't really know about Tupac. All they know about Tupac is All Eyes on Me. That's it. They don't know all the stuff that he made before that. So a lot of this also is misinformation, because I just can't fathom how someone who has any brains in their head can listen to a Talib Kweli album from front to back and then listen to a Young Thug album from front to back and say that Young Thug is a better MC, rapper, lyricist, whichever word or lane you want to put it in. There's just no way. And to me, it goes back to you. Now we all have our guilty pleasures. Like, I'm not saying he's the best, because there's a difference between the best MC and your favorite. And my top three favorites would be Pimp C from UGK. Now, is he a great lyricist? No, he's not. Is he a great MC? No, he's not. Is he a good dope rapper? Yeah, he's a dope rapper. But that's a guilty pleasure. I would not put Pimp C on a top 20 list of best rappers and MCs. And I think that's also what people confuse as well. They'll take someone who they love or who's their favorite person, but when you're talking about talent and what moves somebody and what lyrics is all about, there's no way that someone can take Young Thug's lyrics. And I would want some of the younger people to actually go read what he's saying, because also when I be around younger people, whether it's high school or college, they be rapping, but they don't be saying the words that the rappers are saying. So they listen to these albums every day and still don't know the words, still don't know the lyrics. But then they'll say this person is better than someone when they don't even know what the person's really saying. And when you talk about something like that, it's what makes a person stand out. Like, to me, Young Thug does not stand apart from whoever you want to name. If you want to name the baby, little baby, Lil Durk, Lil Reese, whoever you want to name, what makes him stand apart? Because that's also about what makes a rapper or MC dope. Something that makes them stand apart. He sounds like a bunch of these other guys.
Hold on now. He does got something to make him stand apart. He does got something. He does got something to make him stand apart. He wears skirts, remember?
The way he dressed, right? Yeah, he was dressed. I mean, yeah, that definitely puts him
and,
off.
and his voice be so annoying. I'm like, oh my god, what is that? So if y'all like him, that's fine. But like my partner just said, for y'all to give that high of a number, it's mostly because of preconceived notions. Y'all don't even know who he is. So of course you're gonna go and say this person is better than that person because you don't even know who the hell they talking about. Like you said, a lot of people don't even know who Pac is. How you not know? To me, Pac is the greatest rapper of all time. Notice I said rapper. So when they compare Pac and Big, it gets on my nerves too because they had two totally different styles. Now, Big talked about street shit, but the way he talked about street shit was totally different than the way Pac would. Pac would simply say, you know, like, I grew up rough, kicking dust in the back on the back of the bus. Like simple shit, bigger, you know what I'm saying? This goes out to those who choose to use disrespectful views to the true king of NY. Like they different. Big gonna use his flow and lyrics. Pac gonna use his flow and be poetic with his lyrics. Pac to me, but Pac was the best rapper when it came to the simplest form of way of expression to be able to say, even though you was a crack fiend mama, you still was a black queen mama. Those type of lyrics you just feel. He get to the point and hit you right in the heart. Biggie, he gonna say some slick shit that make you be like, oh shit, damn, you gotta think about it real quick. You gotta stop it. Hold on. What he said? Two different styles. So to me, Pac was the best rapper of all time. Biggie was one of the best lyricists of all time. To
And you
me,
know what I'm gonna say to
this
cap this
thing is a
off,
harder debate.
to cap it off, and this is something that you've done and that I've done, and hopefully I'm gonna teach my son this, and you know, as our show gets bigger and we get to go and speak to more people, I'm gonna say this to the young generation. These people who you think are good, like Young Thug or whoever, go get the acapella, please. Because a majority of the time, what you're enjoying is the beat. The majority
Mm.
of the time, that's what these young people are vibing to, as they like to say, the beat, the melody, how it makes it sound. If you were to take these rappers and put them on acapella, and for those who don't know what acapella means, it's just the lyrics, no beat. I guarantee you they'll have a whole different type of thought process when it comes to some of these people.
Mm.
You'll have a totally different thought process if you listen to some of these people on acapella. For real.
For real. All right, yo. So that's show today. Show. Know y'all enjoyed it. So don't forget, make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. You know what I mean? Fuck with us. Leave your comments as well. Tell us what you think on the, the stimulus shit. How you feel about that? Tell us what you think on the rap shit. Tell us what you think about, what I'm saying, about Charlamagne still taking shots at Joe, all that punk ass type
Ah,
shit. You know
fuck
what I'm
him.
saying? So yeah, fuck him. So this has been another show opposite from the norm. This your boy JTL. Say goodbye to the people, HD.
It's your man HD, aka I'll shoot you and your mama.
Oh Lord, we just talk about not shooting. Now he want to shoot somebody. Ain't that a damn shame, y'all?
Damn
Tell you,
shame.
I keep telling him, man, he needs some anger management classes. He don't want to go
Need some Jesus in my life.
though. Anyways, all right, y'all, we out.